talk to for hours and hours and hours, because we're both health fanatics, and that is Maryon. Lovely to see you. We've met once before.
Yes, we have.
Tell our view a little bit about yourself, because you are an incredibly unique, fascinating lady.
Well, I set up an advisory service in 1984, which was aimed at helping women with premenstrual syndrome. And before we knew it, not only were we helping them a great deal, but we discovered we were helping with other things too. And eventually, over the years, I wrote 25 self-help books. And the natural menopause kit, which is what I'm talking about today, is a kind of vision I had, really, to make it easy for people, because it's a magazine-style workbook, rather than being hard to read when your eyesight's fading a bit. And it's also, there's a film, so it's a DVD that you can dip into that's in chapters, all about the programme. And there's also hormone test kits so that people can measure their hormones as well. So it just makes it easy because
I think it's a subject that we, you know, if you're going through that experience, A, you might not be sure whether you are. Then you kind of ask girlfriends, I'm feeling a bit like this, I'm getting this. Is that the menopause? Is that the start of it? I'm really not sure. So you don't kind of get you're not kind of, it's just kind of hearsay, isn't it, really? And also I think it's a subject that I think we can be in denial about. A subject that we really don't like to talk about, or we feel uncomfortable. I think this is a fantastic solution.
Yes, the thing is, I think when your period first stops, the immediate thing, if you're young, is, am I pregnant?
Yeah.
So that's where the test kit comes in, because it helps you to know, it's like a pregnancy test, but you repeat it a week later, and if your levels of follicle-stimulating hormone is still high, then you know it's the menopause, and you can breathe a sigh of relief.
Now, let's just give you details, because there are 2 sets to go for, and the only difference is one has got the testing kit in it. 432529, £30.86 is your price. This is the one with the testing kit in it. You get the guidebook, the DVD, and the testing kit for £30.86. 432529 is your item number. If you don't want to go for the testing kit, so for example, if you know you're going through the menopause.
Yes, if you, for example, you haven't had a period for a year, or you've had a hysterectomy, there's no need to measure your hormones, or maybe your doctor's already measured them.
Okay.
So there's not a great deal of difference in the price, but if you want to actually measure your hormones, then take the one with the test kit.
But if you don't want the one with the test kit, it's a different item number for you. 432, it's 539, so those last 2 digits are different. £25.97 is your price, and brand new today. So tell me, what am I going to be told in this book?
Well, it's not, the book and the film are different to each other, but they're all about our programme, and the programme's been running for over 20 years.
Okay, so what is the programme?
It's basically designed to help you to improve your health prospects in the long term. It's getting to know your body and to meet your body's needs.
And that's important, to get to know our body.
Exactly, because we don't learn it anyway.
No.
So we know from work we've done in the past with women of all ages that very often people have got low levels of important nutrients, and that affects your brain chemistry and your hormones and so on. So after you've had a few kids and you get a bit older, things tend to go downhill, and then you get to what we call perimenopause. That's the 5 years.
There's 3 stages, isn't there?
Yeah, there's perimenopause, which is the 5 years around the menopause, leading up to it.
Right.
Lovely, when sometimes your premenstrual syndrome crescendos, and then you start to get the menopause symptoms. Wonderful time. And then you bump into the menopause proper, which the menopause technically is just the last day of your last period. But obviously you don't know that for a year.
Yeah.
And then the postmenopause is once you're through it.
Okay.
But the thing is, you've got to look after your heart and your bones and your memory and everything in the long term, because if you think about it, 100 years or so ago, we weren't living much past 50.
Yes,
and now it's just midlife for us. You know, many of us are going to soldier on to 90 and even 100.
Yeah. It's absolutely true, actually. So, let's have a look at the book, because if I'm going to get this at home, what am I going to find in it?
Well, you're going to find there's lots of self-assessment in here.
Right.
And so in the beginning of the book, we've got self-assessment questionnaires. People can actually fill in to find out if they're in good shape, and they determine exactly what their problems are.
Right.
So then they can move on to later on in the book. And also it's got the sections on perimenopause, menopause and postmenopause.
Right.
So if you're concerned about one particular aspect, you can focus on that. And then as you go through, I talk about the diet, which is part of it.
Is that a big part of it?
Yes, we're learning to meet our needs so that we actually increase our nutrient intake.
Yeah.
We're also learning how to take in naturally occurring estrogen, which Mother Nature has provided for us in a marvellous way in different sorts of foods, but no one told us
about it. Yeah,
so, you know, you need it little and often, so it explains exactly how to do that.
Because this is something that hits us whether we like it or not. It's not something we can bypass in life, is it?
No.
It's something that hits us, and I think it's just so nice to be prepared, isn't it?
Yes, because you can actually minimise the damage, as it were, if
Yeah.
you are prepared. And also, once you know how to meet your body's needs, you're armed with that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And then you can go on to help to improve the quality and enjoyment, because really, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
By the time you get to midlife, hopefully, you're a bit more settled. Your kids, if you've had them, are a bit more grown up. You've got more time with your partner. But if you've got problems, you're up all night with night sweats and insomnia, and everything's dried out, you can't have a normal relationship with anybody,
Yeah.
let alone yourself.
Yeah.
And normally at midlife, people put lots of weight on unless they know how to prevent that.
Yeah.
So it's all about really
Yeah.
learning to meet your needs
So
on
how
lots
do we
of
know
levels.
that if we think we're going through the menopause, are there any kind of signs or symptoms? Does this book and the DVD tell us how we can kind of be looking out for it?
Yes, there are questionnaires in here, and
Right.
also I talk about all the different symptoms, all the common symptoms on the DVD.
Right.
And I think people know when they just don't feel the same anymore. And the main thing is that as you go through the book, you work out your programme for yourself, and then you get towards the end of the book where you've got not just the menus and the recipes and the fast options, but you've also got the supplements section, which talks about all the supplements that have been through
Amazing.
studies and things around the world.
Yeah.
And we've also got lists of foods that are rich in important nutrients, because obviously, how do you know if you've got a low magnesium level, let's say, how do you know which
no
foods
idea.
contain
Yeah.
magnesium, for example? And then you've also got the list of foods that contain the naturally occurring estrogen
Yeah.
as well. So it's
I
all,
just think it's
all there.
You know, something that it is being given, you know, to you at home as an option to be able to get at home, read it, see if this, maybe you're going to read some of those symptoms and you're going to start ticking those boxes, or you're going to be reading the book thinking, yeah, that's me, I didn't know that, wow. Or maybe you're going through the menopause, yet you want to know that vital information that you just don't get anywhere else.
Yes.
And
And
where do you get that? I mean, I haven't seen such detailed information like in your book anywhere.
No, it is really difficult, which is why I wanted to bring it all together, because
Yeah.
we've been using it for such a long time, and I just think we all deserve it, really.
Yeah, no,
And
definitely.
it's just so important that families stay together and they don't split up because as a result of someone falling apart. And so
Yeah.
often I hear from women who say if they hadn't actually helped themselves somehow,
Yeah.
that their marriage would have fallen apart, and they don't know what they would have done in life. You know, so it's like night and day. It
Yes.
makes such a difference.
It's not something that's going to come and go and that we're not going to realise it. It's something that kind of is quite dramatic in your life, isn't it?
Yes, and also after the menopause, it was interesting. I was at Menopause the Musical a few years ago signing some books, and so there were hordes of women walking
Yeah.
past, and I was listening to their conversations, and the general consensus was that after the menopause, they were okay, because they didn't have the hot flushes and the night sweats anymore.
Right.
But what no one told them was that their bone mass would
Yeah,
crumble,
makes
because
a
you
big
lose
difference.
more bone than you make
Yeah,
after the
you do,
menopause.
that's right.
You're not protected against heart disease anymore or dementia.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things that you can do.
The body
to
changes completely. It's
Exactly.
a big change in your life, isn't it?
Yes, but there's lots of things that you can do to prevent, there's lots of things you can do to just improve,
Yeah.
and so on. So it's just really important to just learn that one lesson at one time in your life,
Yeah.
learn how to meet your body's
And
needs.
also what I love as well is the fact that you can sit and watch the DVD, if you want to do the test, and read the book in the comfort of your own home, in your own time. You're under no pressure whatsoever. Selling very well indeed. This is brand new today. I think it's a genius idea. £30.86 is your price, 432,529. That's if it comes with the testing kit. And obviously it's just 530 if you want it without the testing